So we're trying to reach the ancient Acropolis of Orchomenos, which is there on top. And we had just to walk a few hundred meters, but it's quite far and there may not be a path. So we'll have to manage. So we are slowly getting closer. It's obvious that this site is not really visited. There is a sort of a path. You can barely recognize it. You almost need Pathfinder qualities to see it. Every once in a while there's a red dot on a rock, but it wouldn't anyway be too difficult because it's just barren rock surfaces here. I always wonder who would build a city in a place where you cannot even plant a small bush because it's just outcropping rock here. But anyway, somebody did because there's something up there. Okay, we are still on our way up, and here we meet a piece of wall. So there is something, as usual. As you can see, the blocks are huge. It's difficult to say what kind of construction it is. It may be polygonal, but I have to go on the side to see it. Anyway, the wall goes up, all the way up to the castle or turret on top of the rocky outcrop up there. So from the first sights we get from here, it really looks like it's a square type of wall, but it's really huge blocks. I mean, Deborah, look at this block here. And this is not the biggest one. So I was able to go a little bit outside the wall where I can get a view of the wall itself, and it actually looks more polygonal in type than square. You can see here, and there's another part down there. It's a rough polygonal, it's not really super precise, even though some joints are quite nice. If you think that it's here, forgotten by everyone except us, of course, and Edward Dodwell, on whose steps we are discovering Greece. So here's another spot where I was able to get outside the wall. It's not tall, it's about 2 meters tall in most places, but I think we can clearly say that this part is pseudo-polygonal, meaning that there is an indication of parallel rows of rocks, but they're really quite random. There's a block there which is really, really big, just below Deborah now. So here, according to the few pictures I saw, there's two walls actually going one towards the other. I'm not sure if that, yeah, that's the other one. You see there's one wall here where I'm standing right now, where Deborah's climbing, and there's another wall, so they're getting really close one to the other. And the big question is, what were they protecting? Look at the lands here. It's barren terrain, it's rocky, it's not even flattened, so it's hard to believe that the ones to the city here, when you talk about Acropolis, you are letting people understand that there is a town. Acropolis actually means high city, but there's nothing here. It's just barren land, crops of rock. Okay, here again you can see one of the fallen rocks. It's certainly at least a ton, I'd guess. And here we walk, the wall does a curve, a right angle curve, and there's another bastion here. And down there you can see other pieces of, I don't know what, a turret or whatever. It's hard to say. And here we can see another part of the wall, just where Deborah was standing, and there's no doubt that it's polygonal. So here another chunk of wall, and for the sake of sizes you can see Deborah in front of the stones. So we are at the base of this outcrop of stone. We found again the path which we had lost, and there in the middle a stairway has been carved out of the living rock. I think you can see it, it's right there. So we're gonna try to reach that. Okay, that's where we gotta get to. The stairway is somewhere up there. There seems to be a path here. It's quite, yeah, there is some kind of a path here. If we get to the stairs, then we're fine. Ah, the stairs start here. There's already some stairs here, so well, I think we are on the right way. Beautiful Deborah showing me the way. Okay, there's really a stairway here. It's huge stairs, but very steep going up. It's probably going to be easier to go up than down. And there's the stairway. Look at that. Bye bye. Some steps are missing. I think for the sake of my safety, I will go without filming, at least this part. But you can see Deborah is partly climbing up this stairway. But it was really the access because it's dug out in the middle of the rocks. There are some, I don't know how you call these plants, but they have not nice points that can hit you. And there we get to the top. Wow, finally. Okay, this is the castle. Here's the stairway we came up from. And look at the view from here. There's basically two walls going down parallel for a while, for probably 100 meters or so. And then they diverge, one going down from one ridge on the right and the other one going down hill on the left. Again, it's a place totally dominant on a wide plain here with some mountains in the background. And the interesting thing is that the place apparently is illuminated at night because there are some lamps there with their own small solar panel. Here there's another one. So they would just run independently. And look at Deborah there in the corner. She's climbing as usually while I talk and bother you with my considerations. Just joking. Hope you like it. So Deborah found a very nice sleeping mat. It's another just a large stone. Just a large stone. About 1.80 meters. Another ton or so of stone. And here we get on top of this thing, which actually doesn't look like it's a tower. It's more like a wall on top. And here. So we came up the hard way, but there was a much easier way here. But it was more spectacular to come up the hard way. See, the stones are a little bit out of place in some places. Again, Orchomenos. I believe you probably never heard of this place. There's nobody here. There's no entrance fee. There's no ticket. There's no pathway to come up, or at least no clear pathway. Some sheep trails, I would call them. But here we are again with huge blocks of stone all over the place. It's hard to understand what this was for. There's a pathway coming up here. And then we have these two big stones kind of blocking the way, but just kind of. Not really blocking where you can go through, but just to give you an idea of the place. Here on top of an outcrop of stone, this strange rocky structure with hundreds, if not thousands of tons of stones cut nicely, or pretty much nicely, to fit one another from some population of Orchomenos. They certainly have a name for the people who built this, but did they really? Or it's just speculation. As I said, we cannot date the time when this piece of stone was cut from the bedrock, shaped to be square, and placed in this exact position. We cannot date that with any real scientific method. We have a lot of indirect methods, but not scientific methods. Welcome to the Acropolis of Orchomenos. So here we are. There's two parallel walls in the path I showed you before. I'll show you again. This wall is pretty collapsed and the other one is still going up. And here you can see there are some strange carvings. There's one there, there's another one there, there's another one there, another one there, even a deeper one up there. So if we watch the line of these carvings, there probably most likely was a stairway here when this wall I'm standing on right now was still tall as that one. So this was probably some kind of a corridor or passageway to get on top. So from there there's a stairway going down. Here there's a few missing, but here they appear again. You see one there, another one there, another one there, and another one down there. So this was certainly some kind of corridor or passageway, but I mean, it's just crazy to make two walls like these just to make a passageway here on top of a hill. And by the way, another consideration, we're still here on top, you can see the two walls. And you see the area in between the two walls. It's just barren rock with a few bushes in between. It's not even flattened at places, so you could think they once flattened it out and made their buildings or whatever. So this place really puzzles me. So I'm just fascinated by these two blocks, which are basically huge, over a ton each, and they're kept in position just by the weight of the other blocks on top. Because you see this one block, at least the one on top, you can see it very well, it's into the wall and then it protrudes on the left for about 80 centimeters, I guess. It's a little bit less than a meter, I would guess, but now you can see Deborah on the side, so just to show you how big it is. And I cannot really fathom the purpose of this. Any nice suggestion would be welcomed. So I just crossed this gap that Deborah is crossing, and from here I could climb up here, which I filmed before, and we have again this strange structure. So there's some blocks protruding from the two walls and some others are placed in the middle, and I cannot get through. I could climb on top of it, but anyway, inside you see there's a small room here. So Deborah managed to climb on top of this small structure here. And, oh, okay. She says there's more rooms, so I'm gonna get it on top as well. You can see there's two other rooms like this down there. I'm gonna move over to them, and this is just where we came from. Oh, got a great view from here, almost on top of the highest parts of this wall. So it's basically a triple wall, because there's one on there, and there's this one in front of me, and then there's another one here. So the structure is really complicated. So I just came down where Deborah is descending now in the first small room here, and now I'm on top of the division to the second small room, and there's the third down there. There's a drop of at least 6 meters of wall, and then another small cliff, another maybe 10 meters or so. And here, but you see the blocks are really wide. I can easily walk on them. I don't really feel damaged, in danger. And of course there's no wind now, but I guess this is the most dominant position we can get here. There's a whole structure here behind me. So this is what we love. No people, no guards telling us to go down of these stones, which anyway we cannot damage. They are too big and too heavy. We are nothing. We are like feathers compared to the weight of them. And I just wanted to make you notice, you see that small sparkling thing there far away near the first buildings? Well, that's our car. That's where we parked. So this you can see the whole way we walked up. It's pretty much a kilometer, I believe, but not on flat terrain. Where Deborah is jumping down right now, there was another corner of the building there. And now it's just right behind, and I see a lot of fallen blocks here. Okay, we are here on what probably was the top of the so-called Acropolis. You can see from this side the structure, the little castle, looks a lot in a worse condition than it does on the other side. So we're walking along the second wall, that from the top we saw on the left, and you see there's huge blocks here too, and they are even polygonal in shape, roughly cut, but still polygonal, certainly polygonal. So I'm also wondering, it wasn't certainly an easy task to destroy a wall like this. It isn't today, and it wasn't in the past. So if they are like 2,400 years old, as it's officially considered to be, why were they so badly destroyed? I mean, people really took the time, the conquering people, to come here and destroy a wall of this size, hundreds or kilometers long and 2 meters wide, and here there's even 2. Here we have again a turret. So there's Deborah on top of the turret, and here I was able to get down, and you can see that it was indeed polygonal. Another chunk of wall here. And there it goes on. Okay, here you can see the size of these blocks. There's one big one here, another big one here, there's even a bigger one here. So it's really not only polygonal, but megalithic. So after having brought Deborah to so many polygonal walls that I thought she couldn't handle it anymore, now she asked me to come down here because she said it was worth it. And in fact, it is worth. Look at the size of this one block where Deborah is standing. It's absolutely huge. So look at the size of this block. It's more than 2 meters wide, and it's certainly more than 1 meter high. This one is big as well. But then we have this one. This one is absolutely huge. I mean, it's tall, 1.70 meters or something, and it's more than 2 meters long. Really unbelievable, the size of these blocks here. So this single block is the one you saw before near me. I measured it about 2 meters wide, 1.80 meter height, and it's about almost 1 meter thick. So if it was everywhere 1 meter thick, it would be 9 tons, but since it's not, we can settle for 6 or 7. And the strange thing is we have these polygonal walls going down on the sides, and then the construction on top, from which here we have another angle, that is square blocks. Even from afar, from this distance, the stones seem to be really big. And then here, these 2 blocks, which are really huge. So you can see, for comparison, Deborah, how small she is to that block.